Okay guys, this is the penultimate episode because pag-usapan natin ng opposition leadership because one is ano ba talagang opposition at ano ba talagang leadership. So in previous episodes and discussions, sabi natin if you're looking at the race for 2028, it's essentially between Tulfo and Lenny right now. Sorry, Tulfo and Sara right now if you look at the numbers. But for me, the rise of Tulfo doesn't necessarily mean tapos ng laban for the pink. If anything, it opens up the race. So tingin ko, it could be a three-way race, no? And in context of that, sabi ni Trillanes in our interview na sila, they're openly calling now on the pink movement to rally na behind Risa. Now, Mark, you want to comment a little bit on this issue because ang basa ko, again, I hope people don't hate us for saying this, ang basa ko is that rallying effect around Risa is still not happening. Marami pa rin umasa na Lenny will still run in 2028. We see actually Lenny number 3 in many of the surveys. Doon sa isang episode, pinag-usapan natin 36, almost 40% gusto nila si Lenny na lang sana presidente. That means yung mga hindi bumoto sa kanya na last elections, ngayon ay medyo mas sang-ayon sa kanya. So for me, medyo things are in the air. Ano ba talaga? Kasi the preparation should start na for 2028 because Sara is
Totoo.
already in it. Tulfo is building his base. So, nasaan yung opposition dyan? Now, Mark, I want to start with you first on this. Di ba may concern ka, di ba? Parang basa mo, like sometimes Riza seems to be on her own eh. It's not, there's no that rallying effect around her. Lalo itong isang Chacha, anti-Chacha movement where the rest of, di ba?
Yeah, yun ang napansin ko nung ano eh. Kasi parang meron siyang iba't ibang groups na nandoon. May church, may halo-halo iba-ibang groups, anti-chacha. 'Di ba? Which is yan din yung rallying ano nung sa opposition, nung sa kanila. Pero bakit walang representative yung pink movement? Bakit walang kahit anong ano ng pink? Eh yun ang ano eh, yun ang malakas na block eh. I mean, 'di ba yun yung fresh lang from the last elections? You were talking about kanina dun sa unang episode natin na wala masyadong parang political party sa bansa, pero the closest thing na nakikita ko is itong sa pink na merong kumaga merong mga what you stand for, ano yung good governance, anti-corruption, ganun. So yung sa pink movement may ganun eh. Tapos may voting block, merong ano, kaso ang problema naka-focus lang sa presidential. Pero sabi nga ni former Senator Trillanes sa interview mo, hindi naman pwedeng tumitigil lang tayo pagtapos yung presidential elections. Wala na, kanya-kanya na tayo uli. Kita na lang tayo sa 2028 ha, sa 2027, di ba? So, not even 2028, 2025. Ano ba ang plano ng Pink Movement sa 2025? Bakit walang pinupush na sa yung maski nga yung support nila dun sa mga senators, meron pa rin of course yung sila Chel, sila Bam, sila ano, pero like yung sa mga Congress and yung sa mga LGU positions, si former Senator Trillanes is looking for a run sa Caloocan, di ba? He admitted that na gusto niyang mag-mayor ng Caloocan. Nasaan yung grassroots, nasaan yung power, yung online power, yung cancel culture na they use so strongly kay Tony Gonzaga, they use so strongly against Daryl Yap. Nasaan yun in pushing for their candidates who are running for other positions na sa LGU or sa national. Diba? Parati kong iulit-ulit ko sinasabi yung maski party list lang eh. If you could elect 3 party list na congressman na pinks, anong impact nun sa Kongreso, 'di ba? Yung that they would reflect yung values ng mga bumoboto sa kanila na kailangan nilang sundin kung ano yung direction ng pink, kung hindi, they will be voted out. So that's the closest thing we have to ano eh, to a political party na sumusunod ka dun sa values ng base mo, 'di ba? Kasi you would get voted out if tumaliwas ka. If tinanggap mo yung mga kung ano yung 'di ba yung sa admin or yung kay Romualdez or yung kung ano, 'di ba? You'll be voted out by the kakampings kasi hindi yan yung dahilan kung bakit ka namin binoto. So walang ganun on the part of Pinks. Nangihinayang lang ako kasi syempre on several issues, maganda yung mga pinaglalaban na nasimulan ni Lenny at nitong mga Pinks. Wala tuloy nagpupush para sa kanila. Tapos, tsaka sila magrereklamo. Ano ba yung gobyerno? Ganyan, 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 ganyan. Pero you have the chance to put in representatives. Eh. What is 900,000 votes? Kung ilan yung pumasok kay Lenny noon, di ba? So, yun lang naman yung punto ko pagdating dyan sa Pink Movement and parang they're not concerned about the 2025 elections.
Dalawang issue, no?
Yes, sir.
Una, Una, yung usapin ng machinery. Halimbawa, ang PDP Laban was the biggest political party after the election. No? Mas malaki pa yan kaysa lakas sa NUCD, NUP, NPC, Nationalista. Pinakamalaki PDP Laban. In less than a year, na-decimate yan. Yung natitirang PDP Laban sa House, nag-pro-chacha na. Nag-pro-chacha na. So, practically, yan yung natural tendency ng mga political parties. Dahil wala nga ideology. Walang card-bearing members, walang ganun, no? So, yun ang nangyari. Kaya, talagang aasahan mo. Halimbawa, Liberal Party, ilan yan? 7, 8? Hati sa tatlo?
Si
Dalawa
Kong
na sa
Stella, di ba?
Dalawa na sa minority, yung presidente ng Liberal Party, independent minority si Edsel, 4 na sa majority, including yung
Kong
sponsor
Kimbo.
sponsor ng Maharlika Bill. They're all still Liberal Party, no? So, ibig sabihin talagang nangyayari yan
Wala.
eh. No, na-decimate talaga yung mga pag hindi ka nanalo at ang lumalakas ngayon, Partido Federal at saka lakas sa NUCD na tinake over ni Speaker. Di ba? At all the others na natitira sasama na dun sa ruling coalition. No? Yun yung natural na mangyayari. Biro mo overnight naubos yung PDP Laban. No? So hindi lang yung pink ang nawala. Mismo yung PDP Laban na napakalakas naubos. No? Yun yung nangyayari. Pero at the same time, nanalo si ERAP with minimal politicians. Halos wala. No, yung partido niya, kabubuo lang yung Partido ng Masang Pilipino, PMP, di ba? Si Pinoy nanalo with 10, 11 congressmen supporting him. Di ba? Ang tawag nila diyan Tricycle Party nung nanalo siya. Ano? Si Digong nanalo with only one
Volkswagen Dati Volkswagen yan,
congressman.
tricycle lang yan.
One congressman, si Bebot Alvarez lang. Di ba?
Riding in tandem lang sila.
Di ba? Ibig sabihin, pwede kang manalo without this support. Dahil yan, bagahe pa, gastos pa yan eh. No? Lalo na kung ang focus mo ay presidency lang. No? Lahat yan sasama later pag nanalo ka eh. No? Kaya yung iba, ayaw nilang bagahe yan. Pero on the positive side naman, halimbawa, itong sinasabi nating survey na 36-37% sinusuportahan si Lenny. Nadagdagan ng 10% yung kanyang nakuhang boto last election. Ito yung mga hindi bumoto. Ibig sabihin, on the landscape, may potential, no? Kahit walang mga opisyal, kahit walang mga congressman, walang governor, etc., merong ganong potential na pwede mong maging pundasyon going into the midterm and going into 2028. Halimbawa, yung 15 million na bumoto kay Lenny, yung 27% na bumoto kay Lenny, kung consolidate nila yan after the election, nationwide Thanksgiving tour, nationwide listening tour, tapos ipasa kay Risa, baka iba yung naging resulta. No? Kaya hindi
Pero
pa
yun nga, Ronald, we've been seeing this forever. Why isn't it happening? Why isn't it happening?
Sinasabi ko lang, hindi sila zero. Hindi sila zero, no? Ang sabi ni Lenny 2 months ago, no? Basic Sun Tzu, no? Basic Sun Tzu yung kanyang ini-invoke eh. Diyan, no? Wag mo daw ipaalam sa kalaban mo
China naman tayo.
yung mga plano mo. Yun yung sinabi niya doon sa Lasal eh, Green Hills, yung launching nung talon at silakbo or something, no? Yun yung kanya. So, tapos si Lenny, ang focus ngayon is local. Diba? Tatakbo siya sa Naga eh. Sa local eh. Parang ayaw na niya.
Confirm na po ba? Confirm na ba sa Naga o sa Kamsur?
Kamsur, mahirapan siya. No? Mahirapan siya. Kahit mag-unite yung Puente Bella, mag-unite yung Andaya.
Arroyo.
Mag-unite yung Arroyo. Hindi ganun kadali dahil malakas yung Villafuerte. Pero sa Naga, Congress at saka Mayor, kaya. No? Tapos yung district ng Puente Bella, hindi sila matatalo ron. So, yun yung kwan. Pero baka wala pa na pang-governor. Baka, no? Kung pa naman, 1.5 years pa no? yung mangyayari. Pero sa ngayon, ang focus niya is local. No? Yun yung, kaya dapat itong 36-37% na sumusuporta sa kanya at this point, no, nominally, dapat maipasa niya yan.
Yun nga eh.
Dapat may consolidate yan, no? Into a machinery.
Unless she has her own plans. Unless she's still...
Or ma-pressure siya na magbago from local bumalik sa national. No? kumbaga, sabi ko nga, anything can still happen eh. No?
Sir Ronald, tanong ko din, meron bang, gaano ba kalaki yung chance na na yung pinks makakapag-elect ng mga pink na senators? Kasi parang alanganin pa din yung mga
Kung ang batayan natin yung survey, medyo delikado. Di ba? Kung survey ang batayan, at this point, no? Lalo na kung ikaw ay nasa dulo, no? Nasa ngayon, nandun yung mga pink eh. Nasa 12 plus. Pag ikaw ay hindi incumbent, delikado yan. No?
Delikado.
Pero, pwede yung magbago eh. Pwede yung halimbawa, si Pinoy, nung tumakbo siya for the Senate, mababa siya eh. Mababa siya eh, no? At saka si GMA ay kalaban nila, no? Mababa si Pinoy sa Senate noon eh. Pero yung patalastas niya, nalagot ako sa nanay ko, dinala siya sa top 5. Di ba? Yung lagot ako sa nanay ko, from number 18 or number 19, bigla siya nag-number 4. Diba? So, depende yan eh. Lalo na ngayon sa social media, anything can still happen eh. Kung makuha mo yung tamang branding, di ba? Kung magkakaroon ka ng bagamat nangyari yan before yung social media, magkaroon ka ng let's do it moment ni Flavier, di ba? Nobody knows Flavier. Pero, dahil sa kanyang slogan, no, simpleng-simple,
nanalo.
So, hindi ko sure eh kung anong
Pero may naisip din ako, Richard, may naisip din ako, kasi kanina we were talking about na nag-aawa yung DDS tsaka loyalista, tapos nililigawan nila yung pink. Pero thinking about it now, yung dalawang kampo na yon, they still would not vote for Abam, Shell, tsaka Kiko. So yun ang problema ng tatlong senatoriables nung sa pinks eh. Kasi DDS loyalista, magkaaway na sila ngayon, nililigawan nila yung pinks, pero hindi pa rin nila boboto yung senador ng pinks. So paano nila makaka-get over yung hump na yun if they want to crack the magic 12, di ba? At makasama si Senator Risa nang mawawala pa si Pimentel. So sino pang matitira kaya kasama ni Senator Risa doon sa minority, di ba?
Pero kung ma-maintain mo yung 37% na sumusupport kay Lenny at madadagdagan mo, pasok ka na sa Senate. No? O, pasok ka na. Kung yung 37% na yan, yung
masolid mo. Pero hindi ba sir yun nga, pwedeng mai-translate yun sa party list? Para yung mga hindi kayang magsenador, mag-party list na muna kayo, at least makapasok muna kayo.
Mahirap ang party list kasi ngayon.
Mas mahirap ang local ngayon, di ba?
Paramihan ng party list ngayon, mga local eh. Mga local. Kumaga, yung governor,
yung congressman
like I said na, yung pong sa sa One Rider at sa AXIS, they just needed one strong influencer eh. And si Lenny yun sa pink side. You just need one very, very strong influencer, and I could see Lenny doing that, na sabihin niya, kakampings, iboto niyo tong party list na to. How many votes would that equal, di ba? Parang yun ang nakikita ko na sayang, kasi that's 2 or 3 congressman na pwede nilang ipasok on their side.
Pero nung 2022, halos lahat ng party list ng pink talo
Yun nga nakakatawa kasi si nakapasok.
Si Mocha natalo rin yung influence.
Si Guanzon.
Si Guanzon nakapasok.
Pero hindi siya pinaupo. Paano ka?
Hindi siya pinaupo, tapos first week umano kagad kay Romualdez.
At Sandro.
At kay Sandro. So yun lang ang point ko. Baka pwedeng mag-elect kayo ng party list na hindi naman yung first week pa lang biglang sasayaw na kaagad doon sa opposite side ng And ito example ko din, Richard nabasa ko lang kanina sa news. May isang congressman, may isang tatakbo na parang may rumor na yung anak daw ni Mar Rojas.
Ayun, district yun. Totoo yun.
Totoo yun, di ba? Sa Rojas.
Tatakbo yun sa district. Magaling yan. Totoo yun.
So hindi ba dapat kung ikaw yung pink, you try to make sure na, teka, dito ka na sa amin na. Baka naman pagdating mo ng Congress, diretso ka doon kaagad, sasama ka agad kila Sandro, sasama ka agad kila Hindi ba dapat parang sinesecure na nila yon na parang dito ka muna. Ikaw future leader natin, susuportahan ka namin pero wag mo muna kaming iwan. Parang ganon.
Una, tatakbo yon as liberal, no? Ikalawa, dahil Rojas siya, hindi siya mangangailangan ng goodies katulad ng iba diyan. No? Ibig sabihin, pwedeng hindi siya magmaluhod dun sa incumbent, no? Katulad ng iba. Halimbawa, ibang mga LP nasa administration LP ang kanilang registration pero nasa administration party sila. Administration alignment sa So, Pero si yung anak ni Mar Rojas, una, tatakbo siya as LP, pero kung manalo siya, dahil Rojas siya, hindi naman siya manlilimos ng pork barrel.
Malilimos, no?
Yung iba kasi, kailangan nila ng survival nila, resources galing sa
Mm.
speaker.
Kaya no choice sila no?
Yun
Oo.
pero
yun yung siguro yung point ko, Richard, na parang kung ikaw yung Pinks, dapat parang ano yan parang building a basketball team, hinahanap mo na yung mga rookie mo, hinahanap mo na yung mga
Talent
next
scout.
na
Talent
Soto
scout.
mo, next na ano mo. And yung anak ni Marojas, from what I'm seeing, matalino, may itsura, merong apelido, may name recall, 'di ba? And yung mga negative na binabato sa tatay niya, baka wala sa kanya. So may political future, baka dapat ngayon pa lang medyo inaanuhan mo na, medyo tinatayaan na nung or sinusuporta, feel the love na mula doon sa block na 'yon, 'di ba? Kasi hintayin mo pang pagdating niyan, magiging tropa niyan sila Sandro, magiging tropa niyan sila yung mga kasing edaran niya 'di ba? So yun lang naman yung point ko din.
Guys, I have two questions. One question is, I think we are assuming na monolithic yung Pink movement. But my sense is a lot of Pink movement is just really Lenny, which raises a second problem, which is transferability. To what degree can Lenny transfer? Kasi 'di ba, lumalabas talaga sa discussion natin, there's no coherence, there's no organization, there's no, you know what I'm saying? It looks like it's really a Lenny, I hate to say, it's like a Lenny fans club, right? Parang ganun ang dating niya sa akin. So, to what degree is this really transferable? This is the question. I mean, nakikinig lang ako for the first time, tahimik lang ako. I'm just sitting back and listening to all of you. I completely agree with both of you guys. Pero napaisip ako, baka this is just a Lenny fans club, which obviously is not, I mean, I understand why, but that's not how you're gonna push
sustainable
forward. Yeah, it's not sustainable. So umaasa ka lang kay Lenny. And to be fair to Lenny, we don't want to put pressure on her all the time. Ang daming nagagalit sa akin, ba't Lenny ka ng Lenny? Sabi ko, hindi niyo ako masisisi because the Lenny, charisma is a political factor unless she endorses someone else fully and sustainably. But again, that raises the question, is it transferable? I don't know. I mean, maybe Bam or someone else should run the next, I don't know, Riza's campaign. I don't know. Ikaw, Rona, what's your take on the transferability?
Well, una, katulad, gusto ko makita yung numbers yung analytics Wala akong masyadong batayan Hindi natin alam, ito bang 36-37% na ito? Ano ba ito? No? Ito ba ay purely Lenny lang? So, maganda yung mga pulse o kaya Lilo na ang kakapal ng mga survey Nakita mo diba? 300 pages. So, lahat yan,
grabe, no?
lahat yan pwede mo i-deconstruct Ngayon, walang batayan Mismo yung ginawa na survey na yan, wala tayong hawak na numbers Kaya hindi ko sigurado Gusto ko makita yung numbers kung yan ay transferable ba, no? O hindi, no? Yan ba ay
or transferable under what conditions? Like what are the tweaks that are necessary?
Ako, Richard. Tingin ko transferable siya, pero sa mga taong ito lang. Kay Aika, kay Jillian, yung mga daughters ni Lenny, transferable yun for sure sa kanila. In the future, if they decide to run, lahat ng mga kakampings na yan, definitely nasa likod nila yan. Siguro, ito, hindi ko din sure kung ano, baka kung may tumakbong kapamilya na star, if you get an Angel Locsin, if you get, baka yung a lot of the kakamping movement medyo naka-tie up sa kapamilya So siguro if meron doon sa kapamilya na high profile na tumakbo, baka you could get the kakamping Pero yun nga parang hindi siya automatic kay Risa, hindi siya automatic sa liberal. So doon ako nagtataka din maganda yung point mo, baka nga Lenny fans club talaga
I mean, I'm not saying that's it forever, but so
si
far
Bea ba
parang ganyan.
Mark, si Bea ba kapamilya?
Oo. I mean na, GMA7 na.
So, si Ivana.
Hindi Bea. Not Bea.
Diba?
Angel Octane, mga ganong level.
Okay, Rona, I'll ask you this kasi hindi naman ako iniimbita. Okay lang naman sa akin. Pero base sa alam mo, dun sa mga maliliit na parties na inimbita ka, kasi
mas hindi ako imbitado kaysa sa iyo
Ako invite ako sa mga
I wonder why.
Is there any conversation really going on there? Kasi mukhang maraming mga like for instance that Grace po Mar Rojas episode, mukhang that the fault lines are still there Yung mga galit kay Po, hanggang ngayon galit pa rin kay Po. Yung mga galit kay
Open,
Mark, hanggang ngayon galit. So parang, ang lalim ng ugat eh. Ang lalim ng
open,
fault lines na ito eh.
open-ended eh. Huwag mong kalimutan, si Bam nag-resign sa Liberal Party. Iba ang partido ni Bam ngayon, tsaka ni Shell, kaya natin. No? So hindi yan ganun ka-solid pa, no? Although nag-uusap yan para mag-join together in a slate for 2025, no? Pero magkaiba na ng partido yan. Si Bam na dating LP, ngayon ay hindi na LP. Si Kiko ang LP. At malabo na tumakbo si Drilon dahil health at saka reasons, no, kaya tsaka matandaan
Service
na.
has been long time and not.
So yan yung for now, yan tatlo ang more or less siguradong tatakbo sa midterm para sa
May
party.
tanong din po ako. Ano
Hmm.
po ang chance na naligawan sila for a unity ticket ng admin? Meron bang ganong maliit na chance o may option bang ganon?
Mas malaki yung
Anti-Duterte
chance,
coalition.
mas malaki yung chance hindi unity ticket, i-adapt siya. Ibig sabihin na adapt. Paano last election kasi may mga senador dala ng 3 presidente, di ba? Noong 2022.
So,
Pwedeng ganun.
posible pa
Pwede.
bagong Pilipinas late mag-a-adapt ng dito sa kaya
Dahil
natin,
ang
ganon.
sigurado ko kasi wala makakakompleto eh. Neither the Duterte nor the Marcos cannot complete as late. So magkukuha sila ng mga winnable na i-adapt nila. And a
Okay.
few more, no? Halimbawa, yung macho black sa Senate, si Ping Lacson, si Tito Soto, si Lito Lapid, si Gringo Honasan, Pacquiao, no? At least four of them magne-negotiate as a group, no? Negotiate as a group, no? Si Pacquiao hindi yan sasama sa Duterte, no? So hindi yan i-adapt doon, no? Pero itong apat, open yung dalawang kampo na i-adapt. No, kumbaga hindi sila organic sa kanilang slate, pero i-adapt sila, no? Yung apat na yan, no? Siguro and perhaps one more, no? Pero ang more or less yung nakikita kong organic mga 6 at most 8. At most 8. So meron kang 4 to 6 na
For
pwede.
guest candidates.
Ganyan. Pero ang qualification nila, I guess, hindi siya unity ticket talaga. Unity ticket kasi talagang kasama ka so ganun yung nuancing diyan.
Last question. The reason why I raised this issue of nag-uusap ba sila, what's happening here is because remember, I mean, we're talking in the wake of the death of Alexei Navalny, no? And kung titingnan mo, I don't know about yung iba na claim na they fought against dictator and all of that, but let's be honest, Duterte was no dictator compared to things that people are facing in places like Russia, right? I mean, ibang klase, grabe yung nangyari. And when we talk about Alexei Navalny, this is someone who, you know, had actually a successful life. Nasa real estate siya, abogado siya, very successful vlogger, right? Nasa TikTok siya. Actually, speaking of TikTok, these people should watch yung documentary ni Navalny na how he uses TikTok even better than his daughter and all of that. And look at anong hinarap ng itong taong to. Grabe, no? Multiple assassination plot. A horrible assassination plot. Nasa Germany na siya. Pinoprotect na siya ng German army even, no? Against further assassination plots. And yet he chose to go back to Russia, right? Against all odds na parang halos nag-risk siya ng physical death because para sa kanya siguro political death ang being exiled of a Russian leader. And unfortunately, mukhang na-confirm na well, we don't know the exact circumstances, but obviously, you know, this is Russia, right? And he's I mean, don't people like Alexei Navalny give us a reason to question all of these people who are saying, oh, hindi nyo alam, mahirap maging opposition sa Pilipinas, ganyan-ganyan, what we're facing, etc. I mean, like, wait, ba't pa kayo nag-opposition leader? Because to be honest, even under Duterte, we didn't have anything close to what other people are facing in places like Russia. I can talk about so. And yet, look at those countries. Women, Gen Z, people like Alexei Navalny, very successful people, they literally risk their life and na-martyr na sila yung other cases. Don't you think we should a little bit up our standards of what is opposition leadership? You know, leadership is not just tumatakbo ka lang during elections laban sa incumbent and then pagtapos na, ibang usap. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, this is where I'm coming from, Ronald. Kasi I think people don't understand when I say things about opposition. Akala, ito naman si Richard, you know, Johnny come latey, nagmamaganda, feeling magaling. But my point is, I'm sorry, my standards are opposition leaders like Alexei Navalny. My standards are people who risk it all. That's why I have a lot of respect for Leila de Lima, by the way, right? Because she also risked it all, right? She had options like that. So, sorry na lang kung ganyan ang standard ko. Am I being unreasonable, Ronald? And then I'll go to Mark because I want to also understand how Mark comes at this because, Mark, you're not a typical guy following, like Alexei Navalny's of this world, but as someone who understands what we expect from opposition leader, I want to also get your honest view on that. Ikaw muna, Ronald.
Well, kahit papaano meron tayong a few or a couple of that. Halimbawa, nung bumalik si Ninoy sa Pilipinas, no? More or less inaasahan niya either makukulong siya or worse, no? Yung worse ang nangyari, no? Pero naka-create ng nakapag-trigger siya ng isang mass movement as never before. Na eventually naging EDSA, no? Naging EDSA, no? Si Laila ay on the same vein, di ba? Sinabihan ko yan nandun kami sa US 2016, December. Sabi ko, wag ka na munang bumalik. Dahil yung presidente ay medyo iba ito. No? Medyo iba ito. No? At halos sigurado ko na ipapakulong ka niyan or worse. No? At least hindi yung worse ang nangyari. Pinakulong siya. No? At kakalabas lang niya sa pero at the same
muntik siya, Ronald, yung
pero,
Abu
yes.
Sayyaf case na.
Hindi, umamin si Matobato at saka si Las Cañas na kwan siya, dapat aambusin siya, di ba? Yun yung kwan. Pero yung kanyang political capital ay hindi pa talaga dramatically tumaas, no? At least hindi pa, no? Dahil kakabelang naman niya. So, yun yung isang kaibahan. Ganon din si Navalny, 'di ba? Napaka-heroic, no? Napaka-symbol talaga ng impunity ni Putin, pero popular pa rin si Putin 'Di ba? Especially because on the war of Ukraine, no? On the war of Ukraine. Pero ako kasi looking back, kung ako advisor ni Navalny, i-advise ko siya na huwag bumalik. Paano at least buhay siya to fight another day. Dahil si Putin talaga, papatayin talaga siya niyan 'Di ba? Walang pakialam yan Tapos,
matanda si Putin. I mean, we don't know how long. Yeah, yun nga. Yeah, play the long game.
Oo, 'di ba? Biro mo, tinapon siya sa Arctic Circle. 'Di ba? Talaga wala siyang pakialam, no? Talaga nilaso na, nabuhay, bumalik pa. Kaya makikita mo yung kanyang heroism. Pero kung ako yung advisor niya, I would advise him, no, to live to fight another day, no?
But what if his effect is he's going to be Ninoy? Because if he stayed in Europe, he'll just be one of many exiles living a good life in, I don't know, Berlin, Paris. Yeah, he'll make all of the, I mean, I've seen so many like from Belarus, from ano. Hindi, iba pa rin yung, kasi martyr na siya ngayon I mean, of course for now, and remember, Ronald, just to be clear, he flew back to Germany before the war on Ukraine. In fact, many suspect the reason why Putin invaded Ukraine is he wanted to make himself hero because na-realize na nalalaos na siya. No, now the people are already looking towards the future. I completely see. In retrospect, it would have made sense. He'll stay abroad, rally against Putin, outlive him, which he could do. He's a very healthy, strong man. Putin is quite aged and we don't know really his situation. But you know, in a way, also with Rizal, diba? Rizal's martyrdom made his impact even greater. Again, I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Well, for now, I doubt if he will be a Ninoy trigger sa Russia.
For now, yeah.
For now, hindi ko nakikita na siya ay maging It will be a combination of different factors. A defeat in Ukraine, pagdami ng casualties ng mga Russians, no? Economy, 'di ba? Tapos Navalny. It could be a combination. Pero Navalny on its own, like a Ninoy trigger, I doubt.
Pero 4 years yun di ba? From Ninoy 1982, right? To 1982.
Hindi ka agad, ilang years pa bago
Yeah. Pero Mark, where do you come
pero nagbago yung landscape nung 83. Biglang yung mga hindi sumasama sa rally nagsamahan na. No? 'Di ba? 83, 84, 85 tapos yung snap election. No, ganoon yun di ba? Assassination, snap election, uprising. 'Di ba? Yun yung nangyayari. Kaya yun lang na sa ngayon tingin ko yung objective conditions baka wala pa. Sa Russia.
Ako naman, Richard, dun sa dito sa kay Navalny na nangyayari. Pero paano ko din naman interested din ako dun sa nangyayari sa kanila dun. Pero yung dun sa sinabi mo na parang kino-compare yung opposition. Parang medyo parang hindi naman siya mahirap siyang ibangga kasi iba naman yung sitwasyon natin. Yung sa atin, even as awful as what's happening dun dito sa politika natin, we can still elect a different president every 6 years. Nando pa rin naman tayo. 'Di ba? Kahit gaano yung mga iba nagrereklamo kay Duterte, 'di ba? Nakita mo naman ngayon, 'di ba? The moment na he stepped down ng power, he can be held accountable na, liable na doon sa mga ginawa niya, 'di ba? So, kumbaga itong nangyayari sa Russia, di ba, mas comparable nga doon sa nangyayari sa atin nung 80s, nung panahon ng martial law nga. Ito tinitingnan ko yung pina-follow ko yung mga nagsasalita dito. Ni-retweet ko tong isa, yung asawa ni Navalny na ito parang threatening Putin na posible kaya para maging Russian Cory itong asawa ni Navalny. Tapos nakikita ko itong mga 80 years old and above na nagpapa-interview sa media na standing up na yung mga reklamo nga kay Putin, like 300,000 of our men namatay dahil diyan sa war na para saan yan, 'di ba? Mga asawa, wala na yung mga anak nila, nawala na yung mga. So yun nga, baka nga it would take a few years pero maaring maging spark nga. Pero yun nga, iba kasi mas ma-appreciate mo yung freedom kapag inalis na talaga sa iyo eh. So ngayon yung mga Pinoy hindi pa hindi nila, 'di ba? They look down on what happened sa EDSA. They look, 'di ba? Para for them to laugh at yung nangyari nung time na yon, 'di ba? You only appreciate something when it's gone. Ito nga ang gandang linya eh. Ang sinasabi nung mga before nung panahon ni Duterte, pag sinisiraan nila yung, for example, people power, ay yung martial law, yung martial law naman pangit lang kapag kaaway ka ng gobyerno. Ang nakakatawa ngayon, sila ngayon yung kaaway ng gobyerno. So 'di ba? So learning, maybe it's a learning maintindihan nila yung kung anong, kasi hindi mo matututunan minsan hangga't di nangyayari sa iyo eh. 'Di ba? Kasi sabi na martial law, pangit lang 'yan kapag nagrereklamo ka sa gobyerno, kapag inaaway mo yung gobyerno. O guess what? Sinong umaaway ngayon sa gobyerno?
Yeah.
Yung grupo ngayon nila, 'di ba? So so minsan you need to experience. That's the sad part ng human nature eh. Hangga't we don't learn from our previous mistakes, hangga't hindi mo na experience, hindi mo na appreciate yung freedom na natin ngayon. As bad as Duterte was for the opposition, 'di ba? They could still vote him out of power. They could still so yung sa Russia,
Mark, but let's not forget, there was a good chance na if nag-agree yung mga military and all of that, I mean, this is where I agree with Trillanes. There was a medyo alanganin tayo at some point. If nag-o yung military sa martial law and all of that, tapos nang usapan. And I don't think Duterte willingly stepped down after 6 years. He had plans of putting Bongo there or at least Sara there. Yung pumalpak lang siya. So he was just not competent enough to be a dictator. So it's not like there was no real chance. Pero last points, first Ronald and then balikan kita Mark. Opposition leadership,
Ako kasi, China at Russia magkaalyado ngayon sa usapin ng against the US, di ba? Pero yung statement, yung speech ni Xi Jinping noong 2013 sa Central Committee ng Communist Party of China was very revealing. Tinawag niya the Russian government, no? The entire government, tinawag niya na nihilist, no? Sabi niya, these are nihilists led by Putin, no?
They don't believe in anything. They're just cynics for power.
Yun yung kaibahan eh. Kahit papaano yung mga Pinoy, no, marami tayong mga trapo, meron tayong mga authoritarian tendencies, etc. Eclectic eh. Eclectic. These are KGB officers eh, no? Wala yung ideology, no? These are talagang ruthless
power
assassins,
for power,
no? Etc. At it took an ideologue like Xi Jinping, no? For all our criticism sa kanya, no? Alam niya, naunawaan niya that these are nihilists. These people don't have an iota of an ideology, no? Kaya nga at some point kabado rin siya sa Russia eh, ang China. Ngayon lang kasi tactically kinakailangan nila magsama, 'di ba? Doon sa kaya iyan yung binalikan ni Navalny na leader. Yan yung binalikan ni Navalny na gobyerno, no, na hindi magdadalawang isip na patayin siya, no? Yun yung doon mo maikukumpara yung sitwasyon sa Russia at saka yung heroism ni Navalny, no? Yan yung
Because he was not nihilist. He really believed in something. Kaya nga sabi,
yes,
that's where his martyrdom means something.
yes.
I mean,
Mas
this is
ma
yeah.
mas mahalaga.
I mean, this is a guy who was reading Bible and Torah and about Jesus, right? While in
Yeah.
jail. I mean, that tells you yung state of mind niya. Talagang he
Pero
was
bago tayo umalis, bago tayo magputol, Big R, gusto ko lang ipaalala, today is the anniversary of the martyrdom of Gomburza. No?
yeah, of
Yan
course.
yung panahon ngayon. At yung Gomburza, Gomez, Burgos, and Zamora, yan yung nag-trigger nung unang student movement sa Pilipinas. No? Yan yung nag-trigger ng unang crop ng mga revolutionaries, at least yung Ilustrado, yung propaganda movement. Yan yung nag-anak. Sana magkaroon din ng ganyang klaseng anak sa Russia. Sana. No? Sana.
Against all odds, yeah. And ikaw, Mark, some closing remarks?
Wala na, naubos na ako. Okay naman. And yun, I wish for the best dun sa just sa sitwasyon sa Russia, and wala, we can only watch kasi it's still up to the people of Russia kung ano ang pwede nilang gawin para ayusin yung to give parang a form of justice dun sa nangyari kay Navalny.
Yeah. I appreciate the Ninoy to Navalny kind of comparison, and also yung observation mo, maybe may Cory Aquino na rin silang version. Now, of course, situation is very different, but you know, sometimes history, it doesn't repeat, but it rhymes, diba? As Mark Twain puts it. So yun po yung context. Thank you so much to my two favorite co-hosts. Ayan naman tayo. Ronald Diamas, Secretary Diamas, thank you for joining us. And Mark Gamboa, thank you also for a really comprehensive discussion today. Wala na, shut down na lahat ng mga phone ko and all of them. We outran technology, right? On that note, have a blessed weekend with your loved ones. And
Salamat.
Bye.
God bless, and pasensya na kung napatagal din tayo, guys. Salamat din, Sir Ronald. Pasensya na. God bless. Talk to you soon.